It's no secret that The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild's place in the Zelda timeline can cause a wide variety of issues when trying to fit certain locations into the established Zelda canon. Just about every bridge, river, road, island, or other significant landmark is a reference to some person, place, or event from a game in the series' past. Everything from the Mirror of Twilight from Twilight Princess to Koholint Island from Link's Awakening is referenced, causing us to wonder exactly where to place this game in the series. You can easily make a case for each of the timeline splits to place this entry, and outside of another popular theory that the game takes place in some sort of unified timeline, or that all of the events in the Zelda canon are inevitable, and if that's the case, then maybe that's why we have references from every game in the series, but that's a video for another day. Because I think the game, if it is to take place in one thread, it's that of the adult timeline, which, following the events of Ocarina of Time, Ganon is sealed away and Hyrule is flooded. This leads to The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, and Spirit Tracks. I find this to be the most likely of timelines, assuming that it does go down one path, because, well, just look at Hyrule and Breath of the Wild. There are rivers, marshes, caves, just about everywhere, not to mention the salt rock found literally all over Hyrule, whether it's on a mountaintop or in the desert or on the coast. All of this points to Hyrule being flooded at some point. You also have the Korok and the Rito, races that only appear in the adult timeline. You can still go down one path and see some of the references from the other games. Mirror Twilight would still exist in this path, but that doesn't mean it was used like we saw in Twilight Princess. The Temple of Time from Ocarina of Time would still be in this path, as are the shrines from Skyward Sword and other various locations we see from events before the split and the flood. But one of the most intriguing locations is Lurelin Village, a small fishing village in southeast Hyrule just past the Faron region. And what makes this location interesting is a few things: the designs of the buildings, its location on the coast, and interestingly enough, this one pillar, because when you climb up this lookout, you're greeted with a view that seems oddly familiar. As you can see, its striking resemblance to Outset Island from The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. The coast, the houses, the pole itself all line up with Outset Island. The palm trees, the style of the houses look similar, and while everything may not be entirely exact, we do need to remember that there would be tens of thousands of years in between these games. Lurelin Village is bigger and has more people, and that could be the case over time. Looking at the lookout, we see in The Wind Waker, the pole itself runs underwater, but in Breath of the Wild, we can see that it's mounted into the ground, as some of the water has faded away. It's most likely not the same pole, given the thousands of years difference, but that doesn't mean it couldn't consistently be rebuilt over time in this small village. The location of the dock shares a resemblance in its location compared to the dock in The Wind Waker, and all of these add up to being either the same or something that these people would have passed down over time. Now, unfortunately, we don't really learn much about Lurelin's past from his residents, so other than some of the similarities in appearance, it is hard to make any further connections. But it is certainly interesting given the uncertainty of Breath of the Wild's placement in the Zelda timeline. And I should say that this theory has been discussed in the Zelda fandom by other YouTubers like Nintendo Black Crisis and on Reddit and Zelda forums, but I wanted to explore this idea for myself. In the end, it could just be another similarity to past Zelda games in perhaps some sort of unified timeline, and there are references from other games that make it hard for Breath of the Wild to exist in the adult timeline. For example, the Goron and the statues carved into Death Mountain, especially Darmani, and given his exploits in Majora's Masks, and the events of Majora's Mask don't necessarily take place in the adult timeline. And there are others as well, and that's what makes it fun to explore all these theories and ideas and see what we can do to come up with as a community. So let me know what you guys think and what you would like me to cover. If you would like me to cover any more Zelda theories or theories from other franchises, just leave a comment down below. If you like this episode, be sure to hit that subscribe button or check out our podcast on iTunes or come hang out on Twitch. We'll see you next time, and as always, thanks for watching.